This is the one that they're like, oh, thank God, Durham. Oh, there it comes. So they arrested one of the investigators, or one of the people that Steele was getting information from. And this is, like we've been through this before, the Steele dossier is largely verified and all this kind of stuff. So they're thinking this is cleanup, that whenever they bust something like this, it makes the other stuff seem fake or whatever. But I'm curious their take on it. And again, we didn't get to see Sean Hannity do a clip that we used anyways after the election. We know Tucker was miserable when he was supposed to be happy. We know Laura was miserable when she was supposed to be happy. And now Hannity is supposed to be happy right now. This is November. This is from when does this? Let's see. This video is, here we go. Yeah. So this is his last night's show. So just making sure. Okay. Sorry, I got a message came up on my screen. It's notifications, guys. You know what I mean? All right, here we go. Here we go.
Christopher Steele's primary source.
Christopher? Sorry.
Breaking tonight, finally, a bombshell new development in the Durham probe. One of Christopher Steele's primary sources, in this case, a Russian analyst, has now been indicted. Coming up, we're going to tell you what this could mean for Hillary Clinton.
Oh, yes. Please tell us. I'm sure, please give me the whole thing on her emails and everything. I'm very worried. I'm sure she is. Now, I'm not really worried, guys, because you and I know, everybody knows, you guys all know that she was killed at Guantanamo last year. So this is, it's silly, and I refuse. All right, sorry. She was it Guantanamo, or was it on the White House lawn as Trump was leaving, as the kids were being freed from the tunnels? I have to go check my QAnon notes.
DOJ and other high-level actors that pushed the Russia collusion lie and hoax for, 5 years now.
Wasn't a lie, wasn't a hoax.
Now, indications are beginning to mount tonight that Durham may have figured this all out. A little late, but...
a little late. Yeah, that is true. Trump is no longer president, so, yeah.
Should be worried tonight. Also, we begin tonight, Democrats around the country, they are still reeling from this major election law.
Yeah, I know. I'm reeling. I mean, I've been telling myself that Virginia flips on whatever administration and has forever, and so does New Jersey, and not since Reagan has a president been able to keep one of those states. I'm still reeling in the years, actually.
On Tuesday in Virginia, New Jersey, around the country. By the way, even in New Jersey, the Republican candidate, Jack Ciattarelli, is within 2 points of the Democratic incumbent governor.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's on the bottom. Those 2 points are below. Doesn't help. Oh, great. I'm going to be arrested now. Thanks.
No one has conceded to this point, and now Democratic infighting, it is boiling over. Democratic denial is even...
By the way, the graphic he has up is red, white, and green with Biden wearing headphones because he's listening to a message being translated. But I assume that this will be Hannity telling us all that Biden is not only has dementia, but is also deaf now. Just shit. And what's the weird paper cutting leaves behind it? Oh, I know what it is. Very clever Fox News graphics. Can anybody spot now? When you would think this is a Green New Deal kind of a thing, right? This is, excuse me, if you don't mind, Sean. I can't stand your face, so I'll just move in for a second. Can anybody spot why that green, while it's supposed to look like leaves, what it also is intending to look like? I mean, besides Islamic writing. Right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, he's at the UN.
And Joe Biden's Build Back Better New Green Deal socialist spending spree, well, that is in jeopardy tonight.
Well, no, actually, they're gonna. I think have they already voted? Do you guys know? I think they already voted on the actual infrastructure bill is going to pass, and the other one's going to pass and go to the Senate tonight.
One senior Democratic aide telling Chad Pergram, Capitol Hill.
Are you going to pronounce any of these names right tonight?
Now descended into a total Adam Schiff show and humiliated.
Adam Schiff show. What? Adam Schiff. Why do I know that name? Oh, yeah, he oversaw the impeachment hearing where Trump was impeached. Oh, so it's going through. All right.
From this week's losses, some Democrats.
Everything we don't like is racist. Everything is awesome.
Media mobsters, they are blaming racist Americans.
Well, media mob is what you want. If you make them mobsters, those are two different kinds of mobbing. Sean, if a mob is a group of people acting, you know, in a riotous way, and mobsters are organized crime. All right.
Who love white supremacy. Well, that's a little hard to explain
to someone who paints his face orange every night. The fuck is that color? Look at his hands, look at his face. What's happening?
Considering some of the wins that took place.
Sean Hannity is clearly a tangerine supremacist.
Today, all while ignoring the historic election.
The historic, that was lovely.
Considering some of the wins that took place Tuesday, all while ignoring the historic.
Sorry, I know those are little things, but they bug. And this is like, this is one of my favorite pictures, by the way. They've been playing this. This is the new lieutenant governor of Virginia. This is what made Ingram and Tucker Carlson mad, because they think they're going to have this woman on their show, and because she's a Republican lieutenant governor and she's black and she likes guns, so they're like, well, we have to like her, but does she have to come into the studio? You know, that's right. So it's Sean Hannity's turn to pretend to be happy.
Election of, for example, Winsome Sears, who was on this show last night, and others like Congresswoman.
Oh, that's why they.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They are blaming members of their own party. Why? Because they're not radical enough. Great strategy. Take a look.
I know that Virginia was a huge bummer, and honestly, if anything, I think that the results show the limits of trying to run a fully 100% super moderated campaign that does not excite, speak to.
By the way, moderated campaign, she's talking about McAuliffe, it seems.
Or energize a progressive base, and frankly, we weren't even really invited to.
Why should you have to be invited to vote against someone who will be against a woman's right to choose, or want teenagers to have AR-15s? Why? Honest to God, you know, yes, you want people who are motivating candidates, but when the policy positions are that clear, I shouldn't have to set an alarm.
Contribute on that race.
That's it. We're not so.
Well, the contribution is what people are saying actually led to the shave of numbers.
Close enough. Climate change ranked at the bottom of the issues.
Yeah, because it's Virginia and there's plenty of fucking trees.
Example, voters in Virginia cared about the economy, education, taxes.
Oh, the economy. So great of you to bring that up. Sean, there was something, I don't know what it was. Let me see. Hold on. Sean, I'm glad you brought that up. Give me 1 second. There was something, I know there was something in the news today. Maybe if I just type in economy and news, maybe I'll find, I don't know what it was. There's got to be something. Well, there's a few things. Yeah. Here it is. Here you go. Here's this kind of situation. Is that why you, Sean? Is that why you brought up the economy? That's a big fucking number. That is 531,000 jobs in October. That's a sign of optimism as the latest coronavirus surge eases. Oh, look at that. Look at that. My goodness. American economy is showing renewed signs of life, with employers hiring workers in greater numbers than they have in months. Huh. Labor Department reported Friday that payrolls in October jumped by 531,000, the best showing since July. The gains were reflected in a broad variety of fields. Oh, so it wasn't just in one sector, like sort of like holiday jobs like Trump used to tout all the time, led by restaurants and bars. Oh, shit. Restaurants and bars? How's that possible? You can't even get in one if you don't have a vaccine card in some places. No one could possibly be. It's not like comedians are back on the road. As well as, wait a minute, what? What's that word? I don't even recognize that. Does America have those anymore? I was told by the right we don't have any. Offices and warehouses. No one goes to the office anymore. Everyone's working from home and just getting unemployment to not work on the job that they're doing from home. Wait, what? The improvements followed a late summer lull caused by the latest coronavirus surge and by supply chain problems that have delayed shipments, hampered manufacturers, and left gaps on the supermarket shelves. Business leaders and economists say October's data pointed to faster growth in the final months of the year, especially with shoppers feeling bullish as the holiday season approaches. Well, yeah, everybody's gearing up to cancel Christmas. We're all very excited. The war on Christmas, we all have to, got to go buy gifts for the war on Christmas. Oh, by the way, when I clicked on this, I just went to the New York Times one because this is the first one that kind of came up as they, there were articles about these, but those have video in them and all that kind of stuff. This popped up. News about China. She is running out of time. China's economy heads for a hard landing. Billionaire Charles Munger praises China for being smarter than America at handling. Yeah, not working out well, pal. She opened to talk on subsidies behind U.S. tensions. You think? I beg your pardon, you what now? But I'm sure Sean Hannity covered this in the rest of his episode, right? He had to have. He brought up the economy. He's got plenty of screen space right here. Do you think you could fit like this graph in that space? Yeah, probably not. You'd have to cut off part of it, You know what you could do, Sean? This is a good idea. You could cut off the part that where it didn't move under Trump. Yeah. No, that's the whole thing. No, it goes back. This is April of this year. Shit. Oh, no, that's April 2020. There you go. Here we go. Bloop, bloop. There you go. -10. Then it hummed right along. This is, by the way, the part in the graph where Trump gave up on being president. You remember that? Where he was like, fuck this. I was cheated. It was my job. And then he just didn't do anything. He did no, legislative business at all. He made himself a lame duck. I mean, that's not true. He did some pardoning. And then here's January 21st. Biden gets sworn in, and look at the stair step. Well, you could walk that. This would be a little tough. You'd need a rope. Then you'd have to walk over. And it's flat point, walk over. All right. You know what? Can we rest here? And then Biden comes in. It's almost like there's a plan in place. It's almost like people are doing their job. Weird. Is there a way? Let's see. Anybody in the chat room currently know what the unemployment rate is currently?
At the top of the list, but I guess for some.
By the way, AOC, I'm concerned for you because apparently Sean Hannity can't quit you. There's never enough video of you on his channel. The hate FAP is strong with this one.
That thinks the world is going to end in 10 years.
No. She thought the edge of the climate cliff is in 10 to 12 years, which is what the current science is worried about and has been warning about for a while. Not that the world, no, we're not going to blow up. It's not how it works, dum-dum. The environment isn't going to get so hot that it pulls a comet in and hits us. That's not, all right. 4.6, right. Yeah, let me see if I can do something. I just want to help Sean out. I just want to, if I might, let's see, overlays, new text overlay, 4.6, unemployment. And then, do I know a background? No, I don't want a background. And then the color of it should just be something, let's make it yellow or something. No, we'll just make it black. That's easier or something like this. We'll just make it that, and then we'll have a shadow. We'll do a light glow around it. That'll help you see it. Okay, we'll add that. There you go. We'll take this, and then maybe this helps. Just to help you clarify the message, Sean. Do you think that would help the show? I think it's, yeah, maybe they won't see it. Let me see if I can, I'll try and do that. Let me see. I could probably fix that again. Let's see. Maybe it should be like here. We'll do like that, and then like a shadow around it, something like that. Maybe you'll be able to see it better there. Does that help? That's better, Sean. I think that works a little bit. I mean, it's a moving background, so it's really hard or whatever. You know what? You know it's unemployment, Sean. I don't have to tell you it's the unemployment rate. Maybe the number is enough. You know what I mean? Maybe you could just do this. There you go. How about that? That'll help. That'll help you clarify. There you go, Sean. I'm just trying to help you out. Since you're so concerned about the economy, I just figured maybe if you just had that number up for reference, what the current unemployment rate is, that it would help. Yeah, a stroke around it is a good idea. Struck me. I don't know that it can. I can do a, let's see, margin border, maybe that. No. Ordered style, fixed position. Scrolling ticker, that's okay. That just run by and a little background on that, and then we'll turn the background into some, maybe that's what'll help. Turn the background picture to like that or something like this, and yeah, there you go. Maybe that's all you need. How about that, Sean? We'll just have this be on the screen. Does that help? Maybe that'll help. I'm just trying to help Sean, you guys. This is, Sean, if you don't mind, does this, I don't know, graphically, would that work on your show, Sean, or is that's pretty big. That's a little big, I gotta admit. Why is this margin? Oh, the scrolling ticker can't be that big or something. All right, never mind. I'll do it this way. This is much better. Okay, here we go. Hello. Is this good? Hi, Sean. Good stuff. And then I think this should probably be behind me. There you go. And then we go. Hello. There you go. I think we found a way. Okay, sorry, you were saying you care about the economy and people and stuff. Okay.
Is not necessarily a top priority. Now, still Pelosi, Schumer, Biden, they're getting bullied by AOC and the squad.
Are they? Have they voted yet, guys? Because I think they have.
Right back pushing their radical agenda today, doubling, tripling down on their Build Back Better socialist spending orgy. And according to Wharton Business School,
Horton, which, by the way, is the place that gave Donald Trump a degree.
True cost of Build Back Better socialism is actually over $4 trillion.
Will not be free. Net costs $2.42 trillion. So we're just not going to count the extra tax dollars from people who are college educated because they go to community college or any of that stuff, or any of the taxes paid by people who don't die because they have proper resources, or any of that stuff, or the investment into growing industries that we can actually sell. We're not going to work that in. Well, that seems to be the Wharton way. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Wharton.
Credit to Joe Manchin, who's been saying, get rid of all the accounting gimmicks and give us real numbers so we can vote on an honest bill. That's not likely to happen.
Yeah, that's what you care about.
And it only raises.
By the way, if you think if Manchin's going to get honest numbers at some point, and they're going to probably vote on a 1.5 to 1.7 version of this, and it will pass as well. Do you think Sean Hannity's going to be happy? Like, well, at least Manchin went in and got the numbers down. You think he's going to do that? You think there'll be a whole program where he runs victory laps for Joe Manchin to bring the Build Back Better plan down to 1.7? You think that? Really? Do you really think that's going to happen?
$4 trillion raises $1.5 trillion in revenue. In other words, that'll be $3 trillion that would be printed or just added to the debt.
Oh, like the $7 trillion Trump added doing, what did he do? The wall only cost what was the $7 trillion added to the debt under Trump? Do you guys remember what he did? How much was the wall? The wall was like $30 billion. Fuck did all that money go?
And inflation.
Oh, right. Farm subsidies, right? Because he had to save them from China. That was $30 billion. That was $30 billion too. $60 billion, $7 trillion debt. Standard debt probably around $5 trillion. So it's extra. So there's a missing $1.4 trillion.
Of course, will continue to skyrocket on top of the historic levels of inflation all of us are now experiencing.
Get the words out. Yes, historic. Yeah. If you buy 48 gallons of milk, you will not even be able to consume them before they expire. That's, I mean, Joe Biden's America.
And suffering through. Don't forget also.
Yeah, you're suffering through. Dude makes, what, $36 million a year just from Fox News? You're suffering. You can feel you're suffering. He knows. Those pins aren't cheap. Those pins on his jacket aren't cheap.
High energy prices.
I mean, after Michael Cohen went down, who's he going to be the client number 3 of?
Pretty much everything you buy at every store you go to is much higher.
Why would that be? Why would that be? Would that be because giant corporations offshore a lot of their construction and factories to sell cheaper to the American consumer, and literally the biggest problem with the supply chain is that people are waiting to buy things? How do you have a broke country that's completely screwed with a $36,000 point stock market plus 4.6%? I think it's 4.6. It's 4.6, and I got to remember, Sean. Thanks for reminding me. Yes, it is. Yes, it is indeed. It's 4.6. Unemployment, and people are waiting to buy stuff for Christmas, and the biggest complaint is there won't be enough toys. People will want toys. They will have the means to buy them, but they won't be able to get them because we relied too heavily on China. Now, was that a government choice or was that a business choice? By the way, are there businesses that didn't put their factories in China that aren't screwed by this, that have factories in Europe or make wine or some other thing in Canada or Mexico or the United States? Go figure. Do those people exist? Yeah, they do. Why don't you buy that stuff? Why don't you promote those things? Why don't you do that? Those things. I can speak. Dropped off for a second. We're okay. Hello, sorry. I'm back. Hi. There we go. I'm back. It's okay.
By the way, the plan calls for 185 times more spending on climate than on future pandemic preparedness.
Well, that's because pandemic preparedness is not that expensive, dum-dum. It isn't. It was cheap. You know how much money we could have saved if Trump hadn't gotten rid of the pandemic response team? Had actually taken that seriously? Oh, and by the way, lives. Remember, you guys are supposed to be pro-life?
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It makes a lot of sense. See, you don't need bulldozers and shoring up buying PPE for Miami and having research dollars available for future diseases is not as expensive as trying to keep land erosion from making everyone's apartment building fall down.
Senator Joe Manchin does not appear to be on board. He called the Virginia results a, quote, wake-up call. He's right. And today Manchin tells fake news, CNN, that America is not a center-left country, but a center-right country. And Congress better take note. Take a look.
We just have to work together. We can't go too far left. This is not a center-left or a left country. We are a center, if anything, a little center-right country, and this means...
And by the way, that's how you would speak if you live in West Virginia. If you want to get reelected in West Virginia, that's how you speak. Think about that for a second. You're Joe Manchin. You don't want a Republican taking your seat who will vote for none of this. Wouldn't have voted for the rescue package, wouldn't have voted for the infrastructure bill. Think about it for a second, guys. Don't panic. Think what you would do in the same situation. You are a senator from West Virginia. What would you say to keep your seat? I'm telling you.
Being shown, and we ought to be able to recognize that. And all of my friends...
It's a sales pitch. This is politicking.
On the left, or progressives, or liberals, or whatever, I said, I'm not.
Well, apparently he, along with Kristen Sinema, are about the only two in the Senate that...
Well, I'm sure that then now, Sean, you support the rescue package because he voted for that and so did she. And you support the infrastructure bill, which he voted for and so did she. And so did a bunch of other Republicans who you called traitors to Trump, I think, if I recall.
Recognize the obvious. Over in the House, one Virginia Democrat, got to give credit, now seeing the handwriting on the wall. She reportedly blasted her colleagues for ignoring real problems, you know, like the real inflation, the high cost of energy, the supply chain issues, trashing Build Back Better, saying, quote, nobody elected Joe Biden to be FDR. And meanwhile, Democratic strategist, guy I've debated many times, actually, he's smart as hell. He's certainly a dinosaur in terms of his way of thinking, which is far more center-left, but at least partly center. James Carville.
Dinosaur, you guys are basically the same age.
Leaves his own party.
This is just what, you jettisoned your wife. He kept his, and they politically disagree, and it obviously takes its toll.
Has completely lost its way, and he's correct. Take a look.
What went wrong?
What went wrong was just stupid wokeness. All right, don't just look at Virginia and New Jersey. Look at Long Island. Look at Buffalo. Look at Minneapolis. Even look at Seattle, Washington. I mean, just defund the police, lunacy to take Abraham Lincoln's name off of schools. I mean, that people see that, and it's just really have a suppressive effect all across the country. The Democrats, some of these people need to go to a woke detox center or something.
It's taken.
And by the way, Sean Hannity does realize that Joe Biden is president, right?
Years. I think I finally won James over. His words, stupid wokeness. Carville's right. The radical socialist woke base of that party, they rule the party. They're not going.
No, they don't. No, they don't. But we in the Democratic Party listen to a broad swath of opinions, and we try to actualize as many of those as possible. We make the sausage, you guys just eat it.
Where, in fact,
or gnaw on it, or whatever you call it.
Now rule the entire Democratic Party, and they do so with an iron fist. Now Biden's woke.
An iron fist. Pay illegal military families. Reported by Fox News, which there was a word that that Biden used to describe this. Whoops, hold on. Yeah. There was a word that that Biden used to describe this thing, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Yeah, it was in here somewhere. There you go. And there was the word. What was the word? There it is. Garbage. That's what it was. Let's just make this a little larger, shall we? That's the word for this, guys. That's right. That's what Biden called it. Garbage. It's garbage. It's not happening. It's garbage. This is meant to divide people and take aim at immigrants. This is a vilification of immigrants ploy. But, you know, he'll still sell it.
DOJ, led by the far-left Merrick Garland, they're planning on issuing six-figure payments to certain illegal immigrants. Now, yesterday, a very bewildered and perplexed and befuddled Joe Biden denied that any such plan was in the works. As it turns out, Joe just wasn't in the loop, as usual. Today,
RNC News, White House spokeswoman says Biden is perfectly comfortable giving cash payments. Two immigrants who are breaking the, two illegal immigrants for breaking the law. Yeah, that sounds like a direct quote. President Biden on Wednesday denied reports that the administration is planning to pay migrants' families separated. Yes, ABC does that right. And then RNC Research is repeating this. Okay, what was the payment?
Deputy press secretary said, yeah, Biden does actually support these payments. In other words, let me translate. Our own Peter Doocy was correct again. Take a look.
The president is perfectly comfortable with the Department of Justice settling with the individuals and families who are currently in litigation with the U.S. government. You know, DOJ can obviously speak more to that process.
Now,
So they're settling with them, not $450,000 though. Are you making the case that that's what they're getting? Check back in with me.
struggle with rising gas prices, rising food prices, rising housing costs.
Rising stock market. You know what's not rising? There is something that isn't rising, though. The unemployment rate. Sorry. You were saying, Sean?
Rising transportation costs.
Well, yeah, obviously, everybody's having to walk all the way from Guatemala.
Biden administration is cutting huge check.
By the way, oh my God, the caravans, they're overwhelming. How is Department of Homeland Security going to process all those people? I can't even see.
$450,000 to illegal immigrants. They will be getting hundreds of thousands of dollars each.
Well, no, not a lot of them. The idea was, and even when Fox floated this bullshit, the idea was it was to pay for the children that were separated from their parents and never reunited.
Your pocket, people that.
Well, we're paying Trump's bills. That's how it works.
Not respect our laws, did not respect our borders or our sovereignty, and entered this country illegally. That would be called madness. That would be called.
Yeah, and you know what? You would have had no problem whatsoever if you had separated the families and had a strategy for putting them back together, or deported them, or processed their asylum claim. None of that would have been a problem. And you could have denied them citizenship for trying to get in. You had all these options. It was the whole fuck it, they're just Mexican kids. Put them in somewhere. I don't care. They all look alike anyways. Are the moms even going to know which kid is theirs? Who gives a shit? The Stephen Miller plan is what would be costing this money.
Sanity. Now, welcome to America Last Policies. Forget about
America Last Policies. Sorry, who sold the largest order of soybeans to China during a pandemic that he blames them for?
America First. This is America Dead Last. America, the sucker nation.
China mocks powerless Biden over climate summit apology. Oh, do they now? So you're just cradling the CCP's balls every day. That's the job now. That's Fox's thing. You're just a walking rubber stamp. Well, I don't know if he walks. They probably wheel him into the studio.
That allows China and India to be classified as developing nations, and we bear the brunt of paying everything for the Paris Climate Accords. And when you think it can't get any worse, now China, they're actually mocking Joe Biden for being powerless after his groveling apology at the World Climate Summit. It's pathetic. Now, Joe falls asleep, has to be woken up by an aide. He apologizes, just like his idol Barack Obama, for America. He has no clue, earthly clue at all, that his own State Department has a policy and is planning on paying.
Well, no, you're making the assertion it's $450,000. He's saying it's garbage. I'll wait.
Illegal immigrants $450,000 each, and even after being denied repeatedly, he goes back again to beg OPEC and Russia to produce more oil. I keep telling you, Joe, all you have to.
No, they don't have to produce more oil. We've talked about this. This is to lower the cost of oil by the barrel. And by the way, oil is going to $100 a barrel, more than likely, by January, maybe sooner.
Was asked Texas
because the oil companies, surprise, surprise, don't work for the countries they drill the oil out of. They work for themselves, and they need to maximize profit. And they lost a shit ton of money during the recession, during the pandemic.
North Dakota, Oklahoma, they'll be more than happy to accommodate. But the bottom line is, Democrats, who are they hurting?
By the way, Sean, I do what Biden's doing watching your show.
Or the middle class. Oh, I thought nobody was going to pay a penny more if they made.
You're just going to play it on a loop? You think we're not going to notice that her hair is that way? And by the way, what kind of a samurai is Joe Biden that he can sleep with his arms crossed? Anybody been on a train and start to fall asleep and you catch yourself awake and stuff, but your arms are always dangling in your lap or whatever? What is this? How do you even manage to is it in the Seven Samurai, the Akira Kurosawa movie where the guy's walking along and the samurai, he's like, hey man, we need to stop and sleep. And he goes, I've been sleeping this whole time. And he goes, I sleep while I walk. Remember that? Yes, the girl behind Biden yawned, right? Everybody's bored. It's hot in there and they're all sitting around. But this is kind of amazing. I want to see like a contest. Yeah, he's listening and I have no problem with any of this. Christ almighty.
Under $400,000 a year. Nope. The people bearing the brunt of these horrific policies are the poor and the middle class that Democrats.
We'll just say that, by the way. None of that has to be even remotely true. Sean can just say it on the way out the door. This is, by the way, a Fox News technique, especially on their clips, just so you know, is that they will say something like this that you are to assume is true. This is the third loop through of Biden closing his eyes for a second while he's listening and them saying he's asleep. And at no point did they fly in this number or mention the 531,000 jobs created in October. But it's probably because they couldn't, guys. This video was already loaded in. It's stuck on loop, you know. But this is their technique.